Okay, I'm back.
All right. So have you heard of hold on, headphones. Is it all running? Is it the stream?
Yep, looks like everything's up.
All right.
I'm just adjusting fuel. I'm going to put a couple more gallons in your Summit set for some longer stints.
Yeah. Hi, Glenn's dad. And Cam Porter. Yeah, so oh god, now my riff's falling apart. Okay, one sec.
No worries.
What's going on here? So, do you remember the original Grand Prix Legends sim? Did you ever play that?
Oh yeah, that's where I got my kind of sim racing obsession.
Right. Okay. So, do you know Alison Hine, Eagle Woman?
Yep.
Right. So she's on Facebook. Are you on Facebook?
I am, but I haven't looked at it in years.
Right. Okay. Right. If you go on there, you'll see she's one of my friends on Facebook. So I friended her, and I just sent her a message just saying hi. You know, blah blah blah. My name's Mick. I've been driving the 49 for God knows how long and stuff. Just saying hi and just saying, you know, thanks for what you did back then in Grand Prix Legends. So she come back to me and we just started chatting, and so the story she told me, because we started obviously talking about the 49 and stuff like that, and I think it all came from I think I went back on the forums, the iRacing forums, and I saw her put a few posts in, and I think I might have, you know, said, oh, is there any chance you would, you know, come back to iRacing and, you know, drive the 49? It'd be great to see you back in the car and stuff like this.
That would be awesome.
I think it was around. Yeah, I think it was around the time I was talking to Greg Ahutu as well, you know, saying, oh, I'm going to be going around the world and want to meet up and stuff, and how about coming in the car and doing an interview and stuff like that. So he was like sort of saying, yeah, you know, and then we sort of lost touch, but that's another story. So yeah, so I said to Alison, so we was chatting about the 49, and she told me the whole story about how all of this happened. So
really?
What it was, yeah, so basically she knew the guy that previously owned the chassis that scanned on iRacing. So the chassis that scans called R2, and it's even the story about the car is a good one. I'll tell you afterwards. And she was saying about that her, and I think the other guy's name is Doug Arnao. I don't know if you know that name. He was sort of like big in the sim racing world back then as well.
No, not so much.
Right, I think he did a lot of work on NASCAR 2003 or something. He did, you know, he was the general guy across all the sims, but Alison was mainly GPL, wasn't she? Anyway, so Alison was, I think she was either head of the team or part of the team, which was definitely part of the team, but I think she might have been head of the team that persuaded Dave Kamer to make Grand Prix Legends an internet game, you know, online game as opposed to land-based. Because he wanted to do it land-based, and Alison Hine and all the rest of it worked on saying, you know, that she knew that they could get it online. You know, it was good enough to do then. You know, the internet and whatever the rest of it. So that's how it all happened. So she says, you know, and I sort of get it. You know, I sort of think, yeah, really, yeah. She sort of says, well, iRacing is a direct result of that team working on Grand Prix Legends, you know, and getting it online, because that put the seed in his head, you know, to get all this stuff running, you know, because iRacing was a bit of a, you know, plan for him just after Grand Prix Legends went online. So although it would have happened anyway, she was the one. Do you know what I mean?
That's
and
cool.
I was like, yeah. So I was like, wow, that's unbelievable, you know. And so yeah, we was chatting and everything, and I was just on the verge of saying, you know, oh, I'm going to be riding around the world. Do you want to meet up and stuff like this? You know, I could, you know, meet up and just out, and she's sort of going on about a bit of ill health at the moment and stuff like that. So yeah, so I just got a text off of her now. So that's why that story's in my head. Yeah, I just said hi to her this morning, so I just got a text back this morning from her. But yeah, so do you know what the story is with this car? So she knows, she knew the owner of this car. I think his name was Pete. God, no, can't remember his surname. His name was Pete, and he owned the car, and he was I think he was like the third owner. So Colin Chapman sold this chassis to a guy in the States, and then this Pete guy bought it off of him.
Cool.
And then he was the guy that let iRacing scan it, and now it's sold on to another guy. And I've spoken to him on YouTube as well, because he's the guy putting all the videos up on YouTube with the 49. So like
those are the ones I've seen.
Yeah, so Laguna Seca and
Alex Rossi, is that him?
No, that's the guy that drove it. No, he's a pro racing driver. He just did like a promo thing. I'll let you know who it is. I can't remember his name, but so the story was, so this car is Graham Hill's car. It's not Graham Hill's car. It's it's Jim Clark's car. Did I say Graham Clark?
No, you said Graham Hill.
Yeah. Right, so the story was, when the guy who bought this car, when he approached Colin Chapman to buy a Lotus 49, Colin Chapman didn't want to sell Graham Hill's car. He wanted to keep that, because that was the car that went on to win the championship. I think it was the next year or whatever. So this was after the championships had been done. You know, maybe the 49 was getting a bit old then, and it had gone through a few iterations and stuff like that. So this guy who was like the second owner of the 49, he wanted to buy it off of Colin Chapman, and Chapman was being a bit of a pig. He said, "No, I'm not selling you Graham Hill's car, but I'll sell you Jim Clark's car." So that's what he did. That's like a funny sort of thing, you know, because the Jim Clark car sort of became more desirable because he was like the best driver back then, wasn't he?
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? But it didn't win the championship. Graham Hill's car won the championship, and that was going to be the car that had been seen to be worth more money and desirable because it won a championship. But this one is. So this is like Jim Clark's original car for '67, and so yeah, so it went through a couple of owners. So God knows how much this latest guy paid for it, but Jesus,
who knows?
Can you imagine?
I can't.
No, but yeah, it's interesting stuff. So I'm gonna try. I really want to meet Alison. You know, I'd love to go there and meet her and just chat about Grand Prix Legends and stuff.
She's still doing sim development stuff?
No, she's. I think she's actually retired now. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not too sure about that. She might be doing some stuff. I think she. Yeah, I think she might be retired now. She didn't really say about what she was doing. But
you'll find out over beers when you come meet her.
Yeah, that's what I want to do, you know. Yeah, I'd love to meet her. I'd love to drag her back into the car if I could. That would be brilliant.
That would be cool.
Yes, I might send her a message in a minute saying, look, come watch the last two races of the championship, because it's a good one, you know. Alright, let's turn this sound down. So once you've got turn 4 sorted out, I'll just watch you through there a few times. Yeah, you're doing much better on the brakes, mate. You can see the way the front of the car's diving down. You probably see it yourself.
I notice it in the requirement to use the steering to keep going straight.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Which is kind of the right indication, you know. Because
you're probably going down too hard then and holding it down too hard. You shouldn't really have to worry about the steering.
Well, it's just it tells me that I'm a little bit closer to the limit, right? Just kind of not.
Yeah.
Not relying on just pure weight and gravity to keep it there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, mate, trust me, there's not much I can help you with around the lap, really. You're doing it all right.
I'd love to have just even if my pace didn't change just right now, even if I don't find, that last 10% right now, I'd love to have just a little more consistency. I feel like I'm all over the place.
Just watch how you drift towards the turn there in the braking zone.
Turning in too early, you mean, or heading towards the corner too early?
What? Yeah, you're just sort of drifting into the middle of the track just before you turn in.
I think I do have kind of this natural tendency to wander towards the turn in earlier.
Power there.
Yeah, I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I have this Mick instilled urge to find every moment of power possible.
Yeah.
Sometimes to a fault.
That corner is literally you can go faster through there. You've got to.
Yeah.
When you come out of that corner, you want to be. 9 times out of 10, you want to be half a foot away from that left-hand curb. You really can fly through that corner.
And I guess that's the takeaway, is that what I don't yet have the ability to determine is, on this particular corner, in this particular instance, go faster through the corner and don't worry about like the exit. Right? If you want to think about it that way. If you think about it as a true corner, put everything into the entry and don't worry about the exit at all.
Do you know what? When I was younger, when I used to drive to my first garage I used to work at doing the restorations, there was a corner and it was exactly like this corner, exactly like turn 4, and it had a left-hander at the end of it, and it was off of the motorway. So I was like going down the motorway, and I was in, what car was I? I was in a Vauxhall Astra, which is like a normal, it was an estate car as well. So it was like, Anyway, so I always remember every morning I'd go round that corner, and I just started pushing it every morning. And you can't even see round it. There could have been a line of traffic, mental. So I carried on going every morning, trying to push it. And then I found myself going on the shoulder for the entry. and then in the end, I thought to myself, I wonder if, now, honestly, Glenn, this was pushing it. I thought to myself, I wonder if I can go into that corner at 100 miles an hour. And do you know what? It took me about a week to build up to it, but I did it once, and then I just thought, right, yep, that's done. I'm not ever going to do that again. I'll show you it on Google Maps after the session.
Check the box, move on.
Yeah. And I always remember one day there was a Mini, like a new Mini, like a new version of the Mini. It was behind me on that slip lane, and I think I was doing about 70 miles an hour, and it was a girl driving it, and because my car was old and crap, people just wanted to get around it anyway. So when I went into that corner, I was on the left-hand side, obviously driving the left. I was on the left-hand lane, and she went into the right-hand lane to try and beat me, going round the corner. And I stayed in the left-hand lane and still beat her. I'll never forget that. And done her by about 5 car lengths at the end. Because do you know what it was? When you go round that corner, you have to put your foot on the brake because there's a roundabout coming up. So I literally, at the end of it, I went into it. I did it once, like I said. I went into it at 100 miles an hour. I went on the hard shoulder to get into the right line. I apexed it like you wouldn't believe. And as soon as the car was stable on the exit, you have to hit the brake hard. And it was so like I say, I'll show you it, and you'll think, oh shit, yeah, I see what you're saying there. But yeah, I would never do that now. Never even try.
The fearlessness of youth.
Yeah, I shouldn't have even been trying it back then. But it was exactly like turn 4, exactly like this corner. Bang, straight on the brakes, and you have to turn left. In a bloody road car. Anyway,
and a state car even.
Yeah. It was a good car though. The Vauxhalls were quick cars, they were. They always were. I don't know why. Alright. Yeah, so you want to be turning in and obviously you want the rear out like we always have, and you want to be sort of like the car wants to be sort of floating around that corner, you know. Yeah, that's the line. That's the line you want. Makes this exit a bit harder, but that's what we're aiming at. I've done that in a race. I did that in a Lotus 79 race once.
So the things I'm working on today are turn 4, not braking and shifting down at the same time.
Yeah.
And not sliding.
And try and get rid of this gap between the brake and the gas.
Right.
That's the most important thing. You was on the power there, weren't you, on through the second part of that, weren't you?
Very briefly, yep.
Yeah. That's the thing with it. I know you're on your outlap, so you're giving away for that. But yeah, you want to go. You really want to enter that a lot faster. So you cannot. There's no way you can put your foot on the power at all.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe the secret is not to remember to not put the gas down, but to make it so that I can't.
Yeah, that's
make it so that I'm scared to.
Yeah. And you've got to be going so fast through there that you're literally thinking to yourself, shit, I've got a brake in a minute, I've got a brake, please, car, will you settle? And you know, that it's one of those type of things, you know.
And then eventually the entry into that turn 3 or whatever that was, that left-hander. That one is so bad. So inconsistent. And it makes a huge difference when I get it right.
Yeah. Do you know what?
In the lap time.
There's something you can do. I haven't told you about it really because it's not sort of the ideal way to do it, but you can straight line the straight before it and sort of like run a straight line down the braking zone to turn 3, you know. But yeah, I mean, even when I'm doing that, I still mess it up every now and again. It is really tough, the corner. Probably the toughest corner on the track, I think, to get right, ain't it?
Certainly seems like the one that I bang my head against.
Yeah. There's no learning it. It's just you either get it right or you get it wrong. That's all there is to it.
I wonder if the gap between the pedals matters what kind of corner it is, because like coming around turn 1 there, it's like habitually, even without thinking about it, there's no gap.
Yeah. Yeah, so that time by you straight line the braking zone. It does make it a bit easier, but it means you're on a bit of a funky line going down towards the corner, doesn't it?
Into 4, you mean?
3.
5? Oh, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to. I don't remember that one. I have to think about it.
3 or 2? I don't know.
That's a good question.
Yeah, the left-hander anyway.
Yeah.
The hard left hand. Yeah, so yeah, ideally, I mean, you really want to be where you know yourself. You want to be right on the edge, and you want your tyres on that little extra bit of curb on the way in. It's just not going to happen. Not in the 49. You're probably given half a chance in something with a bit of downforce where it's not sliding around.
Yeah. Or at least it's not a high percentage position.
No.
You might hit it. I might hit it a couple times a race, but trying to put it there is I will invariably overshoot this, and I'll put a rear off right here.
Right there. Yeah.
And that's a sand pit guarantee.
Yeah.
That's one of the places, I don't know, a couple seasons ago, I guess maybe, I don't know, it doesn't matter. The last time we ran Summit that Rob was racing, One of the things I noted was that every lap, and you're probably the same, he used every bit of track on that turn.
Yeah, right. I don't think I do. I don't think I can nail it that much. That's good. Got on the power hard there.
Yeah, that was better.
Yeah. So let's find the limit for turn 4. So just go in really hot here. As hot as you think you can. You can still going way faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, way faster.
And maybe I'm braking too much.
I think and your line is a bit off as well. You're sort of, like I was saying about turn 1, where you're sort of going into the middle of the track before you turn in.
Yeah.
I think it's harder to do there because you're always on a corner. But yeah, you do want to try and go in a bit more from the left hand side, and sort of late apex it, run up the curb maybe on the right, on the apex.
And even with that bad, kind of funky, not quite right, I was still up about a third of a second on that portion.
Right, okay. Yeah, there's still a tenth there for you. Easy.
Oh yeah, at least.
You'll know when you get it right because you'll wonder how you did it. It's that sort of a corner, you think, Jesus, I didn't realise you could go that fast through there.
Well, and your analysis is spot on, because when I looked at telemetry briefly this morning, it's that series 3 into 4, whatever we're calling it, 4 into 5, that I was losing. Against you, I was losing about like 21 hundredths, something like that.
Right. Yeah.
And it's where VRS said on the lap that was my biggest losing.
Yeah.
Complex.
Give it another go, and then you can jump in my car. Probably, if you don't get it this time, it'll probably speed it up if you see me doing it, if I can nail it as well.
Even with as ugly as that was, I'm still up a third of a second.
Yeah. Yeah, that's... Get in there. No, you still got the power.
Yep, still touch the power.
You just got to not do it ever, even if you think you're going way too slow, because you'll just stay in the habit. And
well, like everything,
just let the car coast down to that corner.
Yeah,
just let it coast down to that corner, and then that might get your brain thinking, oh right, okay, I can brake, 2 car lengths later or whatever, or no, you shouldn't be thinking that. You should be thinking, right, I need to go through that turn 4 faster, because you really want to be right on the outside edge of the corner when you come out. And like I say to you, the car, you don't want to be driving it there. The car has to go there. It's going through that corner so fast that it's going to go to the outside edge of that curve, that line on the way down to 5. Yeah, it's a good line. Yeah, that's getting better. Not far off, that wasn't. Decent lap.
Yep, right on my best.
Yeah,
All it takes is doing everything right.
that's it.
That's up a quarter.
Yeah, you're getting it now. Just go a tad faster through that. That's nice as well. That's what I'm saying. I can't help you with any part of the lap here. There's nothing wrong with this. Yep. Nice. Probably PB, is it?
Yep, by about 4/10.
Oh, wow. Yeah, nice.
And that was after the sketchy turn 1.
Yeah.
That's a lot better.
Nice.
I still did the brake and shift at the same time, but up.
Yeah, do you know what? It doesn't really matter unless, well, the only time you don't want to do it is when you're in 5th gear, I think.
Yeah.
Any other time you'll be all right. So basically just down to turn 1.
That was a better exit.
Yeah, yeah.
That's another PB by 1/10 or so.
Yeah, it's happening, mate. That's the limit. Nicely held, because those rears would have been hot there.
There we go.
That's it. A bit more speed through here now. Yeah, that's getting closer now. Oh, that's nice. Kept your foot on the power there. Nice one. That was. What's your brake marker here? Yeah, nice one.
It's another 2/10 PB. Well, 1500s. Not a great exit.
So still a bit more speed through 4 this time, next time by. This time by, I mean. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, still need to speed that up.
That felt much easier.
Yeah.
A lot less hectic, and I'm up a third.
But you need to get a real sense of fear going through 4 there.
Oh shit!
Yeah. I want to see the car. I want to see the car sort of rotating and the back wheel just scraping the dirt, and then you panic and you lock in the right front wheel up as you hit the brakes. That's what you want to see a couple of times for you to measure where the limit is. That's nice. Not going to do any better than that. Hell on toast here, mate.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. If you'd have got your line right on the way in, that was how fast you can go in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it.
I was out of control from the last one. I never really set on the exit. Unexpectedly, I didn't really expect this, but this is another one of those tracks where the track time differences, the lap time differences are really tiny.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. God, look at us yesterday. Look at me yesterday trying to get that 7. Jesus. I'd have been happy with a really low 8. Just anything.
Yep.
There's the limit. That's it. You must be up.
Yep. Just about even, but better.
Yeah, he lost it through 4 again. You can jump in my car in a couple of laps' time. I'll show you.
Okay.
Might get an idea of what's going on. What a nice save. Yeah, perfect line. That brilliant. Just off the apex, but that's the entry line you want. You want to be on that left-hand side, like you was a.
It's so much easier. I think that's the other impact, or the outcome, I should say, of me not sliding the car on the entry. Is the entries are a lot easier to get right. If I'm not.
Yeah.
If the car's not trying to depart.
Mm. There we go. Yeah, it's getting there. Still need to carry more speed through it.
Yeah, that one's starting to feel easier.
Yeah. The car needs to go. It has to go to the left-hand side of the track. You don't want to be coming out there in the middle. Jump in my car. I'll show you.
Yep.
Oh, let me turn the volume up so I can hear what I'm doing.
Hang on a second. I'm gonna take my fleece off too. Be right back.
All right. Yeah.
Getting sweaty.
Good.
Okay, I'm back.
Right, give me a couple of laps to warm up. Yeah, I need them.
We all do.
Yeah. This will be a black flag, it doesn't matter.
I'll clear it.
Oh no, this will be a stop and go, I mean. Oh, you did do it. Okay. There's the limit. Almost. Oh, so close. But that's what I want to see you do. You know, I want to see you come out of that corner, and the car wants to be on that yellow. Wants to be on that left-hand side. You know.
Yeah.
Right on that line. Because once the car's settled, you really have to hammer the brakes to make the corner.
What's your brake marker in there?
I don't know.
The very first replay you sent me a couple weeks ago, it was right about where the left-hand shoulder starts.
Right, okay.
So I've been using that, and if that's still accurate, then it just means that I'm braking too hard there. Because the other thing the telemetry showed me is that you brake much lighter than I was.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, not so sure. I don't actually think I have got a marker there. I think, well, I must have obviously something, but do you know what? I actually think I can hear now that we've found out about this gap in between the brake and the accelerator. I think I can actually hear the difference between you and me there.
Okay.
Yeah. Could not get on the power there. I've blown the corner as well. So I broke to go into the corner, and then I just stayed on the brake the whole time.
Okay, but really lightly, my guess.
Probably about. Well, I'll go back and have a look. Well, once I nail it, we'll go back and have a look, and I'll show you the inputs and stuff.
Not that it matters right now, but kind of the other thing in general. I've been learning how to use Motec just a little bit, like really minimally.
Say, yeah.
So I've got that telemetry gathering running right now too.
Yeah. Cool.
And I had it running, I think, for most of yesterday. So I've got a boatload of laps.
Right.
Just in case there's something systemic I can go back and look at.
Yeah.
One of the things I was curious about was my braking consistency. So I think maybe Steve Morris or Jeff, somebody suggested Garage 61 will let me overlay a bunch of laps. And of course, Motec will let you do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, here we go, look. See how much trouble I was having on the brakes there?
Yep.
And I'm half a second up. That's
going to be my, let's see, what was it at Road America? Oh, it was staying on the power after Canada Corner.
Yeah. Yeah, half a second quicker.
Nice.
It was literally just because I nailed that corner. Right, so my brake marker is... Yeah, that's... Oh, no. So my brake marker, I'll show you where it is. Oh, I'm going to get a black flag on.
That's all right. As long as it doesn't kick you out,
I'll see what happens. No, it's going to kick me out. All right, no worries.
I should be able to clear him, though. Can I do that?
Okay. Yeah, but it might kick me off the track, I mean.
Oh.
You should do. Oh, no. Yeah, disqualified, yeah.
That's stupid.
Let me get around.
We look at your replay.
Well, I'm in the car again now. I'll get around there and I'll stop. So I think when I get on the power from turn one, I'm about 75% down. And that's the initial power input. And I seem to sort of hold it there. I think I'm getting on the power harder than you there off of turn one. So my brake marker is literally where that track joins up there.
Okay. And that's what I was seeing in your replay from a couple weeks
Yeah,
ago.
right there.
Okay.
So I'm probably right. So let's go back and I'll check, see how much I'm braking through there.
Because then that means I'm still just braking too hard.
Yeah.
That's what fear will do to you.
All right, let's have a look. All right, okay, let me see. So, yeah, well, the car got out of shape there. Yeah, so, oh no, it's later. No, it is. Yeah, so I'm off the power. Yeah, off the power. Yeah, actually, dead on that transition. That little bit where the grass actually meets up with the track. That's where I hit the brakes.
Okay.
And let's just check. I'll tell you how hard I'm braking. Oh, hardly anything.
Yeah. It's just
10,
basically
10,
settle.
15%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10, 15%, if that.
it's almost like trail braking.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what it is. Yeah, I'm not trying to slow the car down at all. I'm just getting the turn in. So it was like what I was going back saying yesterday about the, getting the front grips harder into the ground, So yeah, so when I get on the brake, I mean the car was out of shape, but when I get on the brake, I'm no more than a third of the way up on the input. Then I've come off the brake because God knows why. But yeah, then I'm literally just like 5% trail braking, and so when I come off, when I go past, so here's a good thing that you can check on your replays. So when I get to the end of the red and whites on the apex curb, when my front wheels lined up dead on with that, I'm doing 117 mile an hour. And then yeah, the car, yeah, I'd say it's about 1.5 feet away from the white line. And this goes back to what I was saying. Don't even worry about trying to get the car over to the right hand side. There's just no way it's going to happen. It's far better to carry more speed through 4.
All right. So let me get out my controller so I can control the replay a little bit better. Yeah, on the replay, your braking so minimal it's not even really noticeable in the suspension.
Yeah, like I said, it's literally not even. I'd say at the most about a third of the way up, so about 30%, something like that. And it's literally on and then off again, and then I'm trail braking to take it in there.
So 117, 117.
Yeah, right at the end of the apex curb on the right hand side.
Yeah.
And that's with the tyres hardly just about warmed up. I suppose there's maybe a mile an hour or two more there.
Yeah. And you like riding up the curb there?
Yeah, because it, like I say, if you do that and you can get on the brake while you do it, it actually pulls the car around even more.
Yeah.
So it just makes it easier.
It's not one of those examples where it just feels awkward.
Yeah.
Like some of the curbs are like, oh yeah, that's the place to be.
Yeah.
Okay, and when you...
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with going up the curb in turn 3 as well. Is it turn 3? The stupid left-hander.
The sandpit left-hander. Yeah.
Yeah.
The sand hazard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's another place where when I get the entry to that stupid one right, which is rare, makes it a little more possible. But yeah, I'm just looking at your lap. You did exactly that.
Right. What went up the curb?
Yep, on the left.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And on the exit, of course, which is almost flat. Matter of fact, that exit curb on the sand pit turn, it doesn't even make any noise. It must not be textured at all.
Yeah. Probably not. Yeah. It's probably smooth as anything. So just go back and watch my exit of turn one,
Okay.
and just look at the hands. Just because I think I'm probably getting on power. I think I'm getting on power earlier than you, but I'm getting on power harder than you.
You probably
I
are
think.
because your hands compared to mine are all over the place. In fact,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
just watching your replay a few minutes ago or when we came through, I started wondering again if I need to turn down the force feedback even more.
Right. Okay.
But I don't know. It's really light as it is now. I'm not one of those guys who needs 900 pounds. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
just for reference before we move on, when you brake, quote unquote, I'm using air quotes here because you barely
Mm,
brake, but at the transition from where that shoulder ends on the left,
mm.
you are doing, and right now that transition is right by the left front tire, 143 miles an hour.
Right.
143. Okay. Yeah, that's about the,
So
yeah.
while we're here, not as a let's rub it in, but let's just check what your speed was through there.
That's
you,
that's not how I take any of this.
no, no, we're here just to help. Let's just check because I'll tell you what, your fastest lap, it won't be far off. Right, so you rode up the curb in 4 there. So when you
Did
get
I?
to the end of that curb, you're doing 111. So that it
Oof.
just shows you how much there is,
Yeah.
and that was on your fastest lap. So
Interesting. So just
there's such a gain there for you, mate.
yeah. So let's go back to that lap. Oh, and before I forget, I am going to look at my lap real quick just while we're on the topic. But then I'm going to come back and take a look at your turn one exit.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, and this would be a good opportunity actually to see what my turn one exit hands look like.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're I mean
Oh, you're very, very.
compared to
I mean, if you,
two seasons ago, they're a lot better, but they're still
yeah,
not
yeah.
Mick level.
Well, the thing is, it's all very weird because really, I would love to be able to get on power earlier than I can, but have your hands controlling the car because that would be the ultimate speed. If you're only just playing around with the steering wheel
Yeah.
like you are there, but you're on power as hard as I can be up there,
Yeah.
that would be the ideal situation. Because then the cars just go. Really, you're just trying to make the car go in a straight line as
Right.
much as possible. That's all you're trying to do, and all this wiggling the steering around. Because when you move the steering wheel, I don't know if you know about the front end geometry. What happens normally in a car is the inside wheel will turn more than the outside wheel.
Right.
I can't remember what it's called. There's a name for it. So like when you've got the toe out on the front. Um, so like, it all depends where the arms are and how they set them up. But if you turn around a really tight left-hander, like the left-hand wheel will be turning way more. There'll be much more angle than the right-hand front wheel. So every time you move the steering wheel, you're actually slowing the car down.
Yep.
Which is why when you see guys running oval, and we're talking like thousandths in difference of one little movement on the steering wheel is enough to lose 5 spots on the grid.
Yeah.
Just because you twitch the steering wheel through turn 3, it really is that much. Right, well,
Yeah.
you do that. I'm just going to go and have a quick piss, mate. I'm dying for a piss.
Yep.
All right, I'm back.
Okay. All right. So here's the good news. I'm looking at my fastest lap replay. The good news is at that end of the apron, at the braking point, I'm at the same speed, 143.
Oh, cool.
So that just means that I'm braking too hard or too long or something.
Yeah.
And then
That's all it is. Yeah.
And I think so. Here's the second piece of good news is I'm not braking a lot. So
right.
Probably I'm guessing maybe 40% most, and more likely like 30% most of the time. But I am braking at that level longer, I think.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I literally hit the brakes and it just went up to 30% and then came straight off again. So it was like almost like a on-off movement. You know, there was no sort of part of it where I stayed on the brake. You know?
Yeah.
And that's the difference. That's all it is. So just do that.
Just do that. Perfect. All right. Okay. So that's that. All right. So now, last thing, let's go back and look at your hands. Turn one exit.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I know we say it a lot, but I mean that hand speed there, what I've got coming out of turn one, I have to do that. You know, I'm not faking it. Do you know what I mean? If I don't do that, the car's going to spin.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where we need to get your feet. Your feet need to be back. You know, more. You know, straight down on the power, straight down on the brakes. I know we're talking about, you know, not braking too hard or anything like that, but you know, like I've always said to you, you can't do this too fast. You know, there's, you know, if you could have a brake pedal that went to 70% from zero in no time at all, that would be perfect. You know, because you could brake later.
The other hidden benefit here is, and it's kind of an indirect effect, I think, is that when I look at telemetry, usually compared to any of you fast guys, I'm almost always in the critical corners turning more with the wheel.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Because I'm not rotating with the pedals.
I think, I really think that's your problem with the gap, what you're doing, you know?
Yep.
This little tiny gap. I think even a minute amount, I think, is really hurting you through that part of the corners. So what the difference is, so coming out of turn one, so what will be happening there is obviously we're braking, turning in. So even if we're hitting whatever apex at the same point, the reason I'm having to steer like that to get on the exit is because I've got on the power harder or earlier. And so when I get to, you know, 6,000 revs, my car is further back. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like my engine is doing more work earlier on in the exit part of the corner, which makes my exit a lot trickier to control than yours because I'm coming out with faster. So, but we've both still got our foot down hard. Do you know what I mean?
The other thing is that, you know, the ideal, yes, would be to be perfectly on the edge with no steering input, but there's no way to know if you're on the edge at that point, right? There's no. Like, you just wouldn't know. And maybe because you, being the fastest guy in the series for decades now, you probably also kind of have these magic laps. You're like, whoa, where'd that come from? And that, I didn't feel like I was working on that exit, but it's the fastest one I've ever done, is probably
That's exactly what happened last night when I got the 7. I actually didn't think it was going to be a fast lap.
Yep.
It didn't feel like it was a fast lap at all. And I only realised it when I got round to, that corner where where everyone gets the 1X on the left-hand curb.
Yep.
Just before you go around the right-hander, that was the point where I thought, oh shit, if I nail last corner, I'm probably going to get this. I even looked at my Optimum to see if it was set right, because I thought I might have it set on best lap or something.
Yeah.
Because it really didn't feel that fast. But there you go.
Yep. Magic laps. Last question, I'll get back in the car. For turn one, do you have a marker? Do you have a visual marker about when you turn in?
No.
Okay.
No. Well, other than looking where the turn is and no. But I've never got that. I never have a marker for turning points.
Okay.
I've never had one ever. And the brake, I thought you was actually talking about a brake point. Brake point's pretty hard down there as well, because I literally just gauge myself off those cones that are coming towards me.
Yeah.
But you're nailing the brake marker as much as you need to anyway.
It's close enough, I think, for now. It's certainly that, at least on this track, and even on turn one at Road America, I don't think that wasn't a glaring time loss for me.
Yeah.
Now, nailing it consistently, that'd be nice. But and that's the other thing. I think that's a limitation with how I'm doing analysis, right? Because I can only look at one lap, like your fastest lap versus my fastest lap.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell me, oh, you did that once out of a session of 900 laps.
Yeah, that's it.
The others were crap.
All right.
So just out of curiosity.
So do one thing for me now when you go out. Just think about, so obviously we've got turn 4. So the only thing you want to think about this lap, right, is turn 4 and turn 1. So obviously your turn 4, you know what you're doing there. You need to go through, brake less and hammer it. But turn 1, try and get rid of this gap between the brake and the power, and get on the power so hard that you have to steer as fast as I was.
Okay.
And just that corner. Everywhere else, don't worry about it. Just do what you want to do. But just turn 4 and turn 1 exit. And I'll tell you to watch out for your brake marker at turn 2 if you do it.
Yep. Yeah, I'm looking at my fastest lap, and I'm just looking at the gap between the pedal and the brake and the gas.
Right.
And there is a little bit one there. I think partly because I was sliding a little bit at the apex.
But even then, it doesn't matter. Even then, you should be on the brake. Just a slight amount. It doesn't matter what's going on with the car. If it's really out of shape, then yeah. But if you've just got a little slide going on, you still want to be on the brake, just giving the fronts a little bit of grip.
Yeah. Well, in fact,
or you want to be on both pedals. You never want to be on nothing ever. It's the most important rule you can abide by.
Yeah.
You always want to be doing something with the pedals.
Well, and there's a
lot. Go on.
No, sorry. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, even now lately, I've been to stop the car from doing that in that slide. I'll be on both pedals, the brake and the throttle at the same time, because you're still keeping the weight on the front wheels, and the back wheels are still doing some sort of work. Even though they're fighting against the brake, they're still trying to push into the track. It might be one or the other wheels or whatever, but yeah, it really is. It's the worst case scenario to just let the car do what it wants without anything in there.
Yeah.
Because without any input, the car's set up for bad understeer. It really is.
Yep.
So you just want to do that.
So what I notice is, and again, this is one lap, so it's hard to extrapolate.
Yeah.
But on my fastest lap, when I turn in, I'm turning in about the same place and time you are.
Yeah.
And without worrying about apex speed for the moment, that little bit of slide that I experienced, it's because it immediately comes after me going from about 20% brake to nothing, like
right,
just lifting my foot. And I do think that's a problem for me. That little
Yeah,
bit of that last 10% of good trail braking, I'm not doing for some reason.
right,
So
right.
that little bit of slide is because I lifted off too early, too quickly, I guess. That
Yeah,
last little
right,
trail
yeah,
brake.
yeah,
Um, and I think if I just continued the same kind of brake curve that I was on instead of dropping it like that,
mm,
I probably would have trail braked all the way to the apex, not slid at all, and
right.
the brake pedals, brake activity would have matched up better. So,
Yeah, yeah. Do
okay.
you know what? So when you're doing this like this other thing where you're doing this overlapping the pedals, so you're coming off the gas onto the brake, and there's the
Mm,
big overlap there.
yeah.
If you did that the other way round at the apex, so you got on the power as you was coming off the brake, you would gain massive amounts of time.
Okay.
Yeah, it. I really think it's that much of a deal. This gap in the middle. Because you're trying not to. It's So if you add up the amount of times the car's moving, you're putting one more extra movement into the chassis. So if you didn't do it, so you're coming into the corner. That's what the suspension's going down on the front. So we're talking about turn one. So the suspension's going down on the front left, and then when you get up the power, the suspension's going back. Do you know what I mean? So there's the two movements. So
Right.
the more you ask of the car, you're asking for an extra movement there. You're coming off the gas, coming off the brake, sorry, then the car's settling, then you're getting on the gas. That's an extra movement you're asking the tyres to do. So it even goes back to the saying of, just try and get the car to do as less as it can so it can concentrate on going fast.
Yeah.
That really does come into it.
And I think, well, I got enough to work on right now, but I think when I think about how to trail brake better, that's just another one of those things that I'm going to have to just run a bunch of laps, and that's all I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
about.
I don't think there's much wrong with your trail braking, to be honest with you.
Well, it's just that, whoa, that last little bit.
Yeah, right.
And it's, a lot of you guys mention it. Toppy mentioned it recently. He said something like about your brake traces. If he dropped off the brake that fast, he'd go to Spinville, is what he said.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And again, that's the other kind of thing that'd be nice. And maybe I'll take a look at that in Motec for this session if I get some time, just to see if that's something I do every lap.
Yeah.
Is it something to worry about? Because I do think that if I could iron that out, it would go to some extent towards removing that gap that you're pointing out.
Yeah.
It all comes together, or I should say, that's optimistic. It's all related. Everything's related.
These stupid slow corners, you're running perfectly through there.
Okay.
There's nothing you need to change at all. You're doing it right. Just staying off the curb. The car used to like climbing right over those curbs. Doesn't like it anymore for some reason.
Was that a tire update change?
Yeah, God knows what it is. I mean, I know they did a lot of chassis work and stuff, didn't they?
It took me a bunch of laps. Yeah, it's right on my best. I wasn't even thinking about it. It took me a lot of laps yesterday to keep on the right amount of throttle between the last right-hander of the S and that left-hander before the 1X.
Yeah, yeah.
I really struggle with coming off too hard or too much.
Yeah.
Because ideally...
That's better. Yeah, that's getting there.
Ideally, you'd get a bunch of throttle between the two, but not at the wrong time, or you lose the back end, and not too late, or you miss the opportunity.
Yeah. So just go for this turn one exit. I saw last time you got on the power and then you came off it.
Okay.
So when you get on the power like that, don't ever come back off. just hold it down and just worry about it with your hand. You've definitely got the hand speed there to do it, because I saw you lose the back end at the top of the gear, and your hand speed's there. You just need to get that rear braking loose earlier on in the corner, in the exit, you know. And there on the gear change, don't lift on the gear change.
Oh, I just flat shift?
Even if you don't flat shift, but you shifted and you lifted off the power.
Okay.
You was expecting it to go, but even if it does go, you still want to, you know, still good practice to just keep your foot down.
One X.
Yeah. So just watch your line on the way in. Try and keep it over on the left. And then hard down. So whatever power you put down, first of all, don't lift off. Keep it down and feed it in more and more and more. Yeah, no, it's annoying because you were harder than that last time, by. So you
Of course I was.
Yeah, listen, I know what I'm talking about, mate. You can't fool me. Just get it down, keep it down.
Everything's mental.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So as hard as you are on there, getting through that, so you go around turn 5, you get to that little turn 6. As hard as you're getting on power in between them corners, do that at turn 1. You got damage turned off, have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time is valuable.
Gotta see you struggling to keep the rears in check off a turn 1 exit. No, way harder than that, mate. The initial point of getting on the power, you can be a lot harder. Wow, you went down and missed the wall.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you can make it out here.
I did it once yesterday.
All right, okay.
It's the only reason I know.
Yeah.
It's not the first time I've done that.
Don't get on the power, mate. It's such a weird. Even going that slow round there, as soon as you get on the power, you blow the apex. That's a nice line.
If I could get that exit every time.
Yeah. So 70% power now. Initial input, 70%. Straight down. Yeah. No, didn't lift off. Don't lift off. Harder. As soon as you get on the power, just needs to be harder, but just keep it there.
There we go.
Yeah. You gotta break the rears loose coming out of turn 1. As soon as you get on power there, you wanna have to force the steering straight as fast as you can. better. Still a bit late on power when you hit the power though, but
Okay.
yeah. That's what you're aiming for, you know, that slide that you're not expecting, you know.
I'm aiming for the discomfort.
Yeah. That's why you hear people say, "Oh yeah, got a perfect lap." You know, it's such an achievement to get a good lap. It's because all of these exits are like that.
Yeah. And eventually, when I find a clue, I want to get good at driving on cold tires.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah.
Especially in the first 2 or 3 laps of a race. That's huge.
Yeah.
And for qual, for that matter, yeah.
Yeah. But it just comes from doing this.
Yeah.
So if you was, so you're still not in the mindset of trying to aim to do this out of every turn. So once you get yourself in that mindset and you actually do it every time you get in the car, you know, you come out of turn 1, you know, with your rear tyres on fire, the more you do it, the easier that cold tyre situation becomes.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, the easier everything becomes. Because the more, you know, the closer to your limit that you get to on these exits all the time, the easier they become. So, like I was saying to you, then
I lifted.
yeah, it's got to be so much harder, mate, when you get on the power. You got to not worry about the lap. You just got to see what's going on with that exit. And then what will happen is it'll give you so much confidence. So your actual pace now, your fastest pace now will just move up, obviously, and then this pace that you're at now with your fastest lap, the more you drive at that limit and learn it, this will be so easy to drive. As fast as you can drive now will be like nothing to you. It'll almost seem like you're driving out laps, because your new limit will be this, getting these exits, you know, absolutely spot on. So this time, just hammer it. Doesn't matter if you mess up the entry. Yeah, it's that initial feeding what I don't like. You've got to just get it down.
Harder, faster, harder sooner.
Yeah, you're feeding it in too slow at the start. That's what it is.
Okay.
And that's what's causing the trouble, because the rears are just gripped up all the time, and maybe it's even coming from you know, this zero pedal input as well. So as soon as you lift off the brake this time, bang, straight on the gas to 70%. No feeding it in whatsoever. And out this last turn. Try it now at this last turn. Just hammer it down.
I was a little bit late.
Yeah, you can go a lot earlier. You can be right up on that exit curve.
Still, excuse me, still better exit than normal.
Yeah. So no gap in between the brake. Yeah, that's better. So this is where your hand speed needs to speed up to save that. So that nails it for you, right? So when you come out there and span, that's why I have to steer as fast as I do.
Right.
To stop that happening. Imagine you're 6 years old and it's Christmas and you just got a present you want to unwrap.
Yes, and it's the well, I guess I was 9. It's the Star Wars Empire Strikes Back Snow Speeder.
There you go. You're opening that up at turn 1 exit. I'm just handing the present just on the entry, all right?
Brilliant. And it had the grapple even.
Yeah.
Love that thing.
Yeah. All right, fast hands, wait. Got to be faster, man. You've got to bang. It's got to be instant hand movement. No feeding anything. You got that. That's the secret. You feed a lot of your inputs in. You got to get away from that. It's got to be bang. It's got to be razor sharp, quick. There you go. You can hear it instantly when you do it. It's like 0 power to full power. It's just, that's what you're after. Yep. There you go. That's it. Changes the whole lap. It changes the whole lap of your line, your braking points, everything about the lap will change if you do it. Yeah. See how much grip there is when you, even though you've done it, you didn't even have to steer into it.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Nice.
I was up about 1500s.
But see, this is the point I'm trying to make, right? So you've only just started doing that this session now today, and you're all over the track. So it just shows you how uncomfortable it is to do that for you at the moment. But it's the right thing to do. Yep, perfect. I'd much rather see you drive like this and blow all the apexes and the brake markers and everything and spin off, as long as you keep doing it. That's it, hammer it down. Yeah, that's it. See how the car has to get to that exit curve. You can't do anything about it. It's got to go there. There you go.
I was up about a tenth again.
Did you lift off right at the end there when you come off? Did you lift off the power at all?
When I hit the grass, I did, yeah.
Oh, okay. I just wondered if you lift off and cause it a bit of understeer there. I couldn't tell because you couldn't hear the difference in the engine. But you're getting it. You're getting this bang. You know, it's got that instant power. You can see the front of the car lifting and diving on the brakes. That's what you're after. You can't do it here. You're doing this perfect, like I said earlier. You do it a bit there nicely in second gear. So really hammer it down here. Yeah, there you go. See the steering open up straight for you?
Yeah, that was the best exit I've done this session.
That was the best exit you've ever done in your sim racing career. Now watch you blow this apex. No, fair enough. You got it. Nice one. There you go. It's happening, mate. It's happening. Yep. Nice hand speed.
I definitely had the lift to extricate myself from that one, but
yeah.
this is the nice thing about having time to do enough laps in a given
Yeah,
week.
yeah. But this is what I'm trying to drum into you, mate.
I know.
Get in the car, when you get in the car, this is how you drive. From the moment you come out the pits, and you just have to think this way, you know. Just as every time you get in the car, this is your limit. This is how you drive. And the more you do it, the less you have to think about doing it. The hardest thing in the world is getting guys out of the habits. There you go. That car's going to go all over that curb. Yeah. You watch how up you are now down into turn 1. Yeah, nice. Oh, it's that last little bit where the engine gets all its power.
Yep.
Yeah.
7,000 and above.
You just got to be ready to snap it so it won't go. You can't lift off. You just got to ride it out, you know. And I promise you, mate, this is the only reason why John is as fast as he is now. It's because every time he gets in the car, this is how he drives.
Hate that guy.
But he's done it so quick, you know. But that's that. You know, it's not a question of talent. It's just what he chose, how he chose to practice. You know, you can do it. You're doing it now. You just literally have to do this every time you get in the car. And then all of a sudden you'll think, shit, I just got a 9-1. How did that happen?
Yes. I was better. I was on it earlier that time.
That's it. That's what I want. That's perfect. There you go. Hand speed. Good luck with this one.
I was actually holding my breath.
Oh, right, yeah. But that's it. That's how early you can get on the power.
Yeah, that felt so different.
Yeah. Welcome to the 49.
And the odd thing is that I have this sense, this fear, that the car is just going to immediately depart, right? The rear end's just going to say it's going to be in the next county if I do that.
Yeah.
And I think...
But you're getting the hand speed. You're getting the hand speed, mate. It's all hands, just controlling it.
Well, I think the other thing that is important for me, or whether it's important for somebody else's technique or not, is to recognize that at that moment, the RPMs are low enough, the car's not going to depart.
Yeah.
It's just not. Yeah. It's not there yet.
Yep.
Now here...
So you was a little bit lighter on the gas there that time by. So you need to get back. You need to get straight back to last lap and just do that again. Just never not do that again. That's your new point of, there you go. There's the limit. You can't even think about getting to the right-hand side of the track there. It's just not going to happen. Brilliant. There you go. Nice. Did you lift there?
Yeah, I was 2 feet off the apex, and therefore I was 2 feet off the exit.
Yeah, but I think you lifted on the exit, didn't you?
I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah, see, so I think, I'm pretty sure you did. So when you lift off like that, all it does is just gives the rears more grip, and it puts your understeer back in. And that's why you end up going off. You just got to keep your foot planted, mate, and ride it out. It's much better to just get and bang off the rev limiter than lift off.
up through turn 5, that last lap, I was up about 15 or 18 hundredths.
Right, okay. And that's on a 9.5 as well, so that's... Or unless you've got it set on your optimum.
Nope, oops. I've got it set on session best lap.
Yeah. Oh, I've only got 5 minutes left.
Already. Do you have a few minutes after this to take a look at telemetry?
Yeah.
I do have to be dressed and presentable for a Zoom meeting by an hour from now, but we've got a few minutes.
All right. Yeah, you've lost that power input. You've got to get on the power hard like you did on that lap. Yeah, it's all got a bit calm again, mate. Getting there, though. That looked good. You're worrying about lap time too much, mate. I can tell because you're not talking. On power, mega early now. Mega early and mega hard out of the last turn here.
Oh, actually, that wasn't bad.
That's it. Yeah, yeah. Kept your foot in, that's why.
Bye, Em. Actually, that wasn't bad. And Emily was, I was distracted because Emily was giving me a kiss.
That was a PB as well.
On the head as she was leaving.
Emily, come back. Keep kissing him. Nice, this is the limit. There you go. Perfect. Not too much. Oh, unlucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's what you want. Every time you're planting the throttle down, I can see your hands moving. That's exactly what you want. So earlier on the power this time on the last turn. Earlier and harder. You can still go earlier than that. That amount of input, but a little bit earlier. Nice. Hand speed, hand speed. Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
Touched the
Still a bit
throttle
slow.
there.
Yeah, still a bit slow through there. There's a bit of a funky line on the way in. That's nice though. You're getting that jab there down in between 5 and 6 there nicely. You're even, dare I say it, you're even starting to overdrive. See, earlier on the power now from here. Yeah, that's it. Right, if you'd have nailed that line, that's where you get on the power.
Yeah, that was
You
better.
absolutely nailed it. You absolutely nailed the point of where you get on the power there.
Okay, how are we doing on time? We've got... Oh, that's going to kick me out.
Yeah, it's gonna need it.
All right, let's do... I'm going to jump out of the car, save that best lap replay, and then... Let's see. Maybe we'll jump out of the sim and I'll share my screen on Discord.
Yeah, okay.
And do it that way.
Yeah. All right. Yep.
All right.
Right,
So
1 second. Just get out my rig so I can see the monitor.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't emphasize it enough, mate. You just have to have that as your new limit. That's your new practice limit. You know, every time you get in the car, you just got to hammer that power down. Get on the brake nice, like you are. I mean, God knows what your optimum was there, but it would have been nice and low.
Yeah, it was a .2, I think.
Right. So that's yeah. So you're a tenth away from John with a 9.2 there. In fact, you probably didn't actually nail a sector there at all, really. So it would have been a lot lower. I mean, a lot. I'm talking about a tenth or something. You know, tenth and a half.
All right, hang on a second. I'm going to change headsets. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, I should be back.
Yeah, just about here, mate.
Oops, and I need to kill my VR headset. Hang on. And the audio devices should change now.
Yeah, it's on now. Yeah.
There you go. Got it. Okay. Whew. Matter of fact, I've got this new headset strap that I think is mostly better, but it sits a little differently. It sits a little heavier on my forehead. So after a 2-hour session, I feel it a little bit. All right, let's take a look. How we doing on time? 9:05. All right, so let's do it this way.
Good session, mate.
Yeah, that was good.
You know what? Like I was saying to you, I'd rather see you hammering it down and spinning off, not getting absolutely any lap time at all, than this like feeding in driving style that you got. You know.
Yeah.
I'd rather see you spin off all over the place, you know, and hammer the pedals down, and you know your hand speed right up there.
Yeah, and I think the reason I think it's so nice, well, I guess the reason I feel, oh, hang on a second, there's a bunch of new settings for screen sharing. Let me take a look at this.
Oh man, can you? Oh no, I'm not even going to say it while you're streaming. Yeah, I will. God, can you imagine if we just drive away from these guys at Le Mans? Oh man, that's that. I mean, if that happens,
don't say anything. You're on stream.
Yeah.
Okay, well, see, it's only going to let me stream because I don't pay Discord anything. It's only going to let me stream at 720 resolution, but let's see if it's.
Oh, that's fine. I've still got some eyesight left.
All right, so you should be looking at the Snowy Owl.
Your desktop, yeah. That's quite a clear screen as it goes.
Good.
So I want to kind of maximize it.
All right, so.
How do I maximize that? Inbox.
Oh, within Discord, yeah, that's.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, got it. Yeah, done it. Oh, I can really maximize it. There we go. Yeah, got the full monitor's worth there.
So let's do.
He's really looking at the camera, isn't he? That Al.
I don't know why I love this photo so much. It's been my desktop for a couple of years now. It's just amazing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah. He's sort of looking at you as if to say, "Yeah, what?" You know.
What you got?
Yeah.
I don't know Motec well enough to really spend enough
to trust me, mate.
Right now.
Yeah, I'm never going to go on it. I went on it a while back when it first came out and just had a look around it and thought, no, I can't even be bothered.
Yeah, I mean, it does everything. And the only thing I've
Yeah.
done with it so far is just overlay a bunch of laps so that I could see
Right. Okay. Yeah.
kind of the cloud, if you will, kind of my variation between breakpoints and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. So this is. I don't think. Well, let's try this. Let's take a look at your fastest lap. I know you weren't driving. It's not nowhere near your limit.
Yeah.
For that session. Would you get a 109.7? All right, so that's not really going to help, but, or will it? I don't know, it can't hurt. Let's do this. Let's set yours as the target.
Oh God. I thought that 1095. No, I didn't.
Maybe there's an off track here somewhere.
Oh, there, 1091. Underneath the 105, 1095.
Oh, this one. Here we go.
Yeah.
Uh,
That was that one where I nailed the
Interesting. It won't let me set the target, maybe because it says it's incomplete lap. I don't know.
No, the one above it.
Oh, much better. Thank you.
Yeah. There you go. Right, while you're setting out, mate, I'm going to make a cup of tea quick.
Yep.
It'll only take me 2 minutes.
No worries.
Oh, man. Glen's on fire. Oh. Right, what we got?
All right, so unsurprisingly, even though there's a 3,800, call it 3,900 difference in lap time, where I'm losing the most by just a tad is in turn 4 and 5.
Okay. Oh, right. What am I looking at? Why am I'm trying to change your bloody screen. See, this is what happens when you get old. I've watched YouTube videos of like people driving iRacing, and then I've tried to press quit at the top right end of the corner, you know?
Yep. All right, so
Bad.
just out of curiosity, what's this little peak right here? Where's this? Oh, that's the
That's where she
turn
kissed
1
you on the head.
apex. That's the turn 1 apex. It's I think that's the second time, if I remember right. But if I go back and look at the stream, you'll see Emily kind of lean in from the side. And the first time was weird just because I was using the green screen at the time, which is basically just my head superimposed on the game, and you just see side of Emily's head lean in. This time now I've reversed the rig, so I'm facing the back wall, so I don't have to worry about the green screen. Just makes everything easier. You can see her a little bit more, but still, it's kind of just funny. She's amazing. She's so tolerant.
Yeah. It's good stuff, though.
Yeah. So see this peak on time
Yeah.
here.
What turn is that? Turn one
the
at
apex of turn 1. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And the reason I noted it was how sharp it was. I was curious about that. And this is the time sequence. So this is a combination of two different factors, right? I could have been really hammering it, and you could have been just like off just a smidge. But I was curious about this peak, and then the next one, and this is similar. Like, see these peaks? This is me at the height. I'm a quarter second behind you, and then I don't know, few hundred feet later, I'm up a tenth, or at least I've gained a tenth back. That's my fast in, slow out habit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because at the apex.
No, hold on. This
is backwards. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say you're closing up on me there.
Because this is, that's a good takeaway, because
so is
that's
that
not
lap
been my
where
habit.
you really, is that the lap where you really got the power down from turn 1?
Maybe. It's my fastest lap. That's the
let's
drawback.
Let's say yeah. Let's say it was.
Well, let's zoom in. Let's zoom in just on that corner.
Yeah.
All right. So I brake just a little bit earlier. Sorry, I come off the throttle a little bit earlier and brake about the same time.
Yeah. So there's the gap. That's what I'm saying. That's that gap.
Sorry, I was looking at. I clicked on turn 4 and 5. Let's look at turn 1 and 2.
All right. Okay.
So here's the time peak. That's what we were looking at in the other's view. So I come off, so I brake earlier. And not nearly
so
as
you
hard.
you come off the brake earlier than me, but you get on the throttle. So you overlap the throttle there. You overlapped on the way in. Oh no, sorry, it's the other way around. Yeah, you came off the brake and.
No, you're right. I did come on very lightly.
This is we're still on the straight look. So sorry, I thought we was right in the middle of the corner. Sorry. So
yeah, this is
yeah, right. Okay, let's.
So just a teeny tiny overlap. So I come on the brake and then drop the throttle.
Yeah, that's not that bad, is it?
And then, interestingly, you can see the impact of this difference in braking, because right here, this time, of course, I start falling behind.
Okay.
So from when I start braking, I'm 35 thousandths. To the end of that brake zone, I lose 2/10, just right there.
Yeah.
I haven't even gotten to the exit yet. So that's a big one.
See the difference in our foot speed in the brake application at the start.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and this has been pretty systemic for me compared to you guys. And I love you and John and Seb and Togo. And I actually haven't looked at Togo's telemetry, but I brake earlier.
Yeah.
No matter what I do with my feet, I tend to brake earlier.
Yeah.
And I wish, Garage 61 actually does this really well, because it gives you an absolute foot measurement on track. So what is this, 800? So like 950. So you brake about
a lot.
60 feet.
That's a lot.
It seems like a lot. But again, if you look at this,
but when you think about it as well, so that difference between my brake input and your brake input, my car's still accelerating when you're on the brake. It's not slowing down, it's accelerating.
So right here, you start decelerating. Excuse me. Right here, you brake here.
Because if you look at the throttle trace, look.
Yep.
So I'm still full power when when you've.
Yep.
I'm still at full power when you're almost at full brake.
Yep.
So that's a
So
lot of the difference. Yeah. So it's a big thing, isn't it?
it is a big thing, but here's the difference. So I lose, and this is why I like the telemetry, because it tells you a little bit more. So between this point where I start braking
Yeah.
and when we come off the brakes. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
here. So right at the apex, I've lost 2/10, right? Just in that braking zone.
Yeah.
But if you look at the overall corner, I only lost 1300ths, right? So
Yeah.
it I lost a bunch of time going in, but I
Hmm.
gained a little bit of it back
Yeah.
going out. Now,
On the exit.
not
Yeah.
much, less than half, but I gained a little bit of it back. Um,
So what was our speed at the apex? Have a look at that. Can you get it on there?
so
So,
the
that's where we are now, isn't
pretty
it? Yeah.
close. The lowest speeds are going to be just a few feet forward. So you're 48 and I'm 50.
50, right? Okay. So I guarantee you, then. So if we go to, I suppose you'll have to go into turn 3 because we'll have a look at the end of this. So let's look at. So yeah, so you just start losing out again, don't you, as we're going up towards turn 3?
Yep.
It's
And
just a slight loss.
yep. And that's where I love this time graph
Yeah,
because it tells me that so from the apex, I'm a little faster.
yeah.
Actually, I'm not right there, but I was. Yeah, here it is.
You're actually on full power more earlier than me as well at the end there.
Yeah. So I gained back a little bit of that 2/10 that I lost, and I'm looking at this time graph here. So I start gaining a little bit of it back, and then probably because of hand speed, regardless of what I'm doing with the throttle, you start I start losing again. So about
Yeah,
right here when I'm in within 15 thousandths, 1500ths, and then I start losing again. And by the end of just this little segment, I've lost another hundredth.
yeah,
Um, and I think there's some magic there, right? Because if you look at this throttle trace, that's pretty damn close.
yeah. It is close. Yeah.
Um,
But
so
what's the if you go back to where we got on full power, so all the way up to full throttle. So yeah, there. So what's the speed of our cars there?
you've got me by 3/10 of a mile an hour.
Right, okay. So where it is that initial, yeah, that point there where I've peaked there. I think that would be the yeah. What's happening with the steering angle there then?
So again, kind of you're steering less almost always.
Right, okay, yeah, yeah.
Almost always. Um,
And look, that tells you so much, that steering angle. Look at the difference in the
yep,
little movements there.
yep.
Yeah. But like I said, ideally you want it to be looking like yours, but you want it to be looking like yours, but coming out the corner faster than both of us.
Exactly. Um, so that's interesting. I don't know enough about the technology to know exactly what conclusions I can draw from telemetry and what I can't. But what I do think is that the good news here, at least on this lap, now I'm still losing or I'm still behind,
Yeah,
but on this lap, my bigger mistake was under braking.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Your blips are huge as well, look. And that
yep,
actually would hurt. That actually would hurt your because you're putting in what, no, maybe a third.
30, yeah.
Yeah. So that actually is fighting against the brakes. So
Interesting.
maybe that's like a byproduct of you having to brake early because you're blipping so hard it's actually propelling the car forward.
Okay.
So what's the so if we go to
I almost overlooked these little, what is this, 5% throttle or whatever is this?
yeah. So if you move to the right a little bit more, say there, what's the speed of our cars there? So who's blue and who's red? I'm blue.
You're blue.
So 68.9, 68.3. So what's the speed when we both first hit the brakes? So in between, so 176, 168. I'm just trying to make sense of that. I can't work it out. In any case, I'd say those blips are hurting your braking.
Okay, so just too big.
Yeah, miles too big. I mean, look at mine. Look.
Yeah,
In fact,
I had
you
almost
don't even have
overlooked
to
these
blip.
because they were so small.
Yeah, in fact, you don't have to blip the throttle. To be honest with you, if you let the revs drop down all the way, you don't even have to do it. You just change down; it will go into gear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and maybe
but
that's something I look at because one of the things that I was not in the habit of doing driving the Skippy was blipping. I just throttle, just shifted down because
yeah,
it,
right,
it
yeah.
didn't make a difference, right? It just didn't unsettle the car. But for the 49, it definitely does.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Because it's got so much power. That's why.
yeah, so I started blipping only, when it came to the 49 because I was starting to, I just couldn't, I was losing it under braking.
Yeah.
All right, so
All right. Let's do some ass kicking. Let's have a look at turn 4.
maybe less blip. Right, turn 4.
So it's not a massive difference, is it?
So the
Oh, look at the
total
brakes. Look at the brakes. Wow.
difference is 0.14. And uh, yep. See this section right
Yeah.
here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's a lot. So let's have a look at the speed going in. What was the speed just before we hit the brakes? Pretty close, look.
Pretty close. And that's probably why both in the sim it said 143 for both, because it
Yeah,
rounds to
that's
the
right.
nearest hole.
Yeah.
But still, a little misleading because that's a full 0.7 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Um,
So what about when we get
so let's take a look at
yeah,
this. Let's
about there.
about here. You come off the brakes
Yeah.
mostly. Yeah, that's 9 miles an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, it's huge, ain't it?
It
I
is
mean,
huge.
I would have thought the gap. Well, no, I did say in the session, didn't I? I'd probably gain you a couple of attempts and maybe.
Oh yeah. The other thing I note, I'm losing time pretty much all the way through this section until the apex again,
Yeah.
and I gain a little bit of it back.
Yeah, you gained it nicely down to the next turn, didn't you?
On the throttle just a little bit earlier,
Yeah.
but kind of getting to 100 almost identically.
Yeah.
Pretty similar under the heavy braking zone. I think our typical relationship, you're braking a little bit higher and I'm braking a little bit longer.
Yeah, I'm looking at the steering angle as well. That's again, there's a lot more going on with my steering, isn't there?
A lot more.
Just there
Yep.
is wherever it is. Yeah.
Here.
So what's that to the left? Is it?
That is the left. Yep.
Mm.
Which makes sense because you've just gotten back on the brake in the heavy braking zone.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah. Hold on. What's the speed? 100 and.
Whoops.
Oh, I
Sorry.
just missed.
Go ahead.
98 is it? To 102. So yeah, my car was probably a bit out of shape there.
And
Oh yeah, look at my steering on the bottom left. Look. So it was a lot. So the back end went somewhere there.
Yep. And then, as usual, I'm steering more around the actual apex of the turn.
Yeah. Yeah, look at it. Yeah, that's a lot. Look at it on the left-hand side.
And interestingly, okay, so this is the first time I've actually seen this. Usually I'd expect me to steer more and be on the power later and less, but it's actually not the case here. I'm
Yeah.
curious about that. So
Maybe there's well, no, there's no understeer because you're catching back up on the time. So you're not understeering through there.
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
And maybe that's kind of the one of the limitations of looking at single lap telemetry, because who
Yeah.
knows?
You never know what was going on with the car. I can't remember. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing. And a lot of it depends on that, doesn't it?
The other thing that I don't pay a whole lot of attention to, but I'm curious about, is that I was pretty close to your center line. So the way this line distance graph works is this
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
middle octave here
Yeah.
is your line,
Right.
and then the graph is where I am relation to yours. So
Right.
at
Okay.
that moment I was a little bit right, but having come from the left.
Yeah.
So I was a
Yeah.
little bit right. Okay. So maybe that does make sense. If I was a little bit to the right, I'd have to steer a little bit more to get to the same exit.
Yeah.
Even though presumably I'm rotating a little bit here under power. I don't know.
And the speed's pretty similar. Look, you're actually a few bit,
Oh yeah.
couple of bits faster than me there.
And
So why you?
Yeah.
So can you zoom right in on the corner up there on the top left to see?
Yeah.
Does it show you our lines?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah. Look, so if you go back up to yeah, on the entry. So as we're going through turn 4, look how there we go. Look at that. So who's who? I can't think again.
You're
I'm
blue.
blue, aren't I?
So
yeah, so I was wider on the way in.
Yep.
Oh, I think you. Yeah. Do you know what? I think I remember that. I remember you actually messed up your entry there. You went in. I think it was really sort of like from the middle of the track there. Which is probably why that apex speed's miles different. Because it shouldn't be that far off, should it?
Yeah, and that's a good question. Not having looked at enough, I just don't know how much to expect variation.
Yeah.
The other thing I meant to say up here is like what I've never looked at, and VRS will provide, and I'm sure Motec will too, is I don't look at like wheel spin and slide and rotation, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
could. I
Yeah.
pay for the $5 a month VRS, and the $10 a month VRS will give you a bunch of that stuff.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's when I think about this difference in steering angle and throttle position.
Yeah.
That's what I'm curious about, is I wonder what the rotation
So
is here.
yeah. So go back to where you first got on the power there. So you was heading into the left-hand side more than I was. So what's our speed? You got to be going faster there, surely.
Yeah.
No, you're slow.
Oh, no, actually slower.
So then you get on power harder. So what's the difference in the speed when we get to the end, right at the end of that sector?
I'm up like, what is that, 2.5?
Yeah, so you're yeah, so yeah, I've got no idea what happened there.
No.
I've got no idea why. Um, well, maybe it's just a case. I mean, I did nail the entry into 4. I'm just wondering, overall, it is fast. I mean, that's the thing again. Like we keep saying, we don't really know what was happening with the cars at that particular point. But
Yeah.
I think overall, in general, it's probably it. It's like I was saying, it is faster to just go through turn 4 as fast as you can, and hit the brakes as hard as you can into 5 there. There's no straight, is there, to turn 6? So that's where I've still gained through there, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah, if we look at 6
I mean,
to
if there was a
7.
long straight, if there was a straight now going down to say turn 1, you'd be all over me there.
So, and we both, this is the sector, because it's a real short 100% throttle here, right?
That's it. Yeah,
really
yeah.
just maybe a second, probably not even that. So we're both at 100. And then if we follow on into 6, throttle, yeah, pretty similar.
Yeah, look at the brake.
This is interesting though, the
Yeah.
brake.
Wow.
And you can see the effect.
Mm.
I brake lighter and I swing way wider.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there was only I didn't say anything about that line because you didn't do it all the time. There was only a couple of times where you did that, where you ran wide.
Yeah.
For the most part of it, you was braking hard there and holding the real tight line through that corner. So I didn't say anything.
Yeah. Well, and you can see
Yeah, look at it.
the follow-on
Look at the
effect is
breakdown. Yeah,
the follow-on effect is you're way earlier on the throttle.
yeah. But look at the time difference overall. 0.024.
Yeah.
There's not much.
It's not much, and you can see this why. I mean, at least by my view, this is kind of a wild difference. So I'm 47 hundredths. So for the lap, is that right?
Mm.
So starting this sector, I'm almost a half a second down, and I gain back. Is that
Almost
right?
all of it.
I gained back 4/10.
Yeah.
Almost. That's that. See, that kind of stuff is just hidden otherwise, unless you look at
Yeah,
telemetry.
yeah, yeah.
But it makes sense because I entered so much faster because I braked
Yeah,
lower.
yeah, yeah. That's it.
But the net, of course, is that as soon as you get back on the throttle, I start losing
Mm.
that time again, and I lose
Yeah.
almost all of it. Right? So,
Oh, right. Okay. So it's bigger than that. I thought it was, turn. What am I looking then? So turn 7 is 0.24. Is that what?
yeah, this combined. So from
Oh, right. Okay.
yeah,
Sorry.
just from
Yeah.
this highlighted section. So if I zoom out
Right.
a little bit and make it obvious, because whoops, not that one.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Right. Okay.
Um,
So just go ahead and look at the last turn because you've definitely got to get on power earlier coming out there.
so it's a little bit limiting. I don't think I'd like to know exactly where on track this is. I guess that's the track out.
Yeah. Have a look at our lines. Zoom in.
So let me go back here.
So what am I getting? Blue.
Yep,
All right. So
it's about the same. I diverge. I go left by a third of a foot here at this point. Sorry, wait, stop. Oh yeah, I go right. That's what this
yeah, you're
is.
tighter on the way in there.
So this line means that your graph is to the left. That's what it is. Okay.
Right.
Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong thing anyway. Jeez.
Oh yeah, line distance. Yeah.
Um, and I think this red line here is a meter, so 3 1/3 feet, I think.
Oh, okay.
So pretty close, but you turn tighter, so I must have missed the apex slightly here.
Right. Yeah. So what's our speed difference right in the middle of that bit where you just said about the apex?
2 point. So right now,
So there's not much in it where the throttle application is.
so through this, you brake a little bit harder.
I'm up to 100% brake again.
Yep.
I
Well,
do you know what? I rarely do that. I rarely brake slowly and then get up to 100%. Jesus, not right in the middle of the corner as well. Nor is that before we got into the corner?
that's
Oh yeah,
back here.
yeah. All right, okay.
Um,
So
and
why
then
again? I'm blue, aren't I?
right.
Yeah. So you're 3 mile an hour faster on the way inlet.
Yep. I've broken a little bit less hard, but
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah.
So by here, you're
I'm still slower on the way in.
back on target. And then if we take a look at the apex here, judging the apex by where we get on throttle, I'm
It's that, look at that bit just a bit further on where I get to full throttle. That's the difference.
yep.
And that, look, see the speed, look, now it's 98.7, you're 98.2. So let's have a look at the steering angle. So steering angle, yeah, I'm steering to the left, look.
Yep. And I'm
Yeah.
still kind of leaning to the right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
So so have a look at the last part of that then. Just right at the end. Just have a look at the speed difference. I know we can't go further than that much. So it's, yeah, so it's 1.4 faster at the end.
Yep.
So yeah, so I mean, it just shows you how it all adds up, don't it? Because I mean, I don't know what the next lap was like, but I might have been getting on the brake again later than you, but harder.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And even though my car was doing 4 mile an hour faster or whatever. So is this the same lap?
Yep. Yeah,
Oh,
this
right.
is
What's the speed difference at the end of that sector? That's exactly the same.
not. And I think this is one of the limits of telemetry because
How did that happen?
we don't know what's going on the next lap.
Oh, do you know what it is? I bet I lifted off and stopped the lap.
Yeah,
Must have been.
that could be it.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Because
Well,
I keep
let's go back to the start of that one. Just that line there at the top of the screen. So I'm doing 117. Why did I come off the throttle there? That's what it is, because I'm not even changing gear.
Yeah, you didn't even shift gears.
Yes, I
You
don't
were
know.
probably
Yeah.
just talking
Yeah.
and coasting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got to run.
Yeah, nice one, mate. Oh, trust me, Glenn. You listen. The end of that session where you was driving hard like that, mate. I can't emphasize it any harder, mate. If you do that, if you carry on doing that while I'm on the ride, when I come back, you'll be racing me. And I promise you that. I cannot emphasize it enough. All you have to do is just keep doing it, and it will come, mate. You know.
And I hear, and I will try
It's
to do.
impossible to get worse at that. The more you do it, the easier it is. You know that yourself. Anyway, I'll let you go.
Yep, no worries. And I
Yep.
think I go back to the idea that the luxury of having run enough laps to get competent on the track allows me to
Yeah.
then start worrying less about lap time and more about
Yeah.
getting faster. And maybe I
I
should do it the other way
guarantee.
around.
Honestly, mate, if you do it the whole week, just do that the whole week. Just get on the power hard, bang, smack the brake down hard. By the time you get to the end of the week, you'll be where you are now in lap time. That will be so easy for you to get a 9.5. You won't even have to think about getting a 9.5. That will be almost an outlap. I promise you that.
Okay, and
Yeah.
I'll keep working on it. In closing, I want to point out something I'm not sure I've ever seen in telemetry before. Turns 8 and 9, I was 0.08 faster than you.
See you later. Well done, mate.
8
Which one's 8
hundredths.
and 9?
It's the weird S's.
Right, okay. And then that's right. Yeah. So
who knows?
yeah, if you had time, we should have had a look at that.
Yep. Well,
Be interested to know why.
we can always come back, but
Cool. Yeah, save that and we'll have a look next time.
Yep.
Or have a look at yourself and you can explain it. And
and in fact, I should. What's the date today? Okay, good. We'll come back to this. I do have to run.
I guarantee it'll be throttle input. Guarantee you that.
Yeah, that's kind of a crazy throttle trace, isn't it?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, good. Anyway, thanks for your time. Brilliant
Yeah,
as
you too,
always.
mate.
I appreciate
Yeah.
it. I'll talk soon.
All right, mate.
See ya.
Well done, mate. See you
Thanks.
later.
Bye.